The Prince of Wales coming here to Bondi Beach, where the sun is now shining. Of course, that thunderstorm having passed, but it certainly well and truly drenched most of us, but not the Prince of Wales, fortunately. Now, he was at Icebergs at an emergency services reception alongside the New South Wales Premier, Barry O'Farrell. Now, it wasn't the first time that Mr O'Farrell has met the Prince. Of course, he met him last night when he arrived in Sydney, but this was all about emergency services personnel recognising their contributions and giving them the opportunity to meet the Prince of Wales. Have a listen to what some of Barry O'Farrell had to say.
People who, in times of trouble, in disaster, in tragedies, run towards the crisis rather than, like most of us, running away from it. The people who, whether paid in the case of the police and the fireys and others, or volunteer in the case of so many, not only protect our community but defend that uniquely Australian lifestyle that we enjoy day in, day out.
Barry O'Farrell there paying tribute to the Prince of Wales and also talking about, of course, our emergency services personnel here in New South Wales. Now, it does seem quite strange, Ashley, that we're actually now drying out after that thunderstorm here. And I've got to tell you, the reception for the Prince of Wales here at Bondi Beach, like what we saw yesterday in Hobart, but I've got to say probably the most frenzied crowd that we've seen. So excited, people even trying to pass him babies, and 3 cheers went up as he left because obviously with these kind of functions, if it is raining, people kind of think, well, maybe he won't come and see me, maybe he won't come and shake my hand, but he did, and he almost created a security nightmare at one point by walking over to the crowd and kind of breaking with the plan of where he was supposed to walk. So it was great for the crowd here at Bondi Beach and great for him to have an opportunity to look at touch football. This is in association with the NRL, their Dream, Believe, Achieve program, and some of our best footballers also getting the opportunity to speak with Prince Charles. I saw Greg Bird here and Anthony Minicello, former rugby league great Laurie Daly was also on the sand as well. So everyone getting an opportunity to speak to the Prince of Wales. Now, where is the Duchess of Cornwall? Well, earlier today she was at Victoria Barracks. She was made Colonel-in-Chief of the Australian Military Police. So she has been made their Colonel-in-Chief, and she actually made a speech at that function. We've seen her make the occasional speech during her time, and particularly at solo events like what we saw this morning. Have a listen to what the Duchess of Cornwall had to say.
It gives me enormous pleasure to address you today as your new and very proud Colonel-in-Chief. This is a very exciting time for me, not only because of the great honour you have done me, but because it is also my first trip to Australia, and I deeply regret having left it so late.
Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, speaking at Victoria Barracks earlier today, the event that she was at, whilst the Prince of Wales, of course, was coming here to Bondi, and also at the MCA earlier for the Campaign for Wool, of which the Prince of Wales is patron. Now, that's the second event he's attended for the Campaign for Wool during this Diamond Jubilee tour. Yesterday, he was in Hobart at a sheep stud near Sorell, and today he was at the Museum of Contemporary Art, rubbing shoulders with some of our best-known fashion designers and those in the fashion industry and promoting wool, and he himself today promoting wool by wearing a suit made of Australian wool, and that wool sourced from Tasmania. So now the Prince has headed back to Admiralty House, where he and the Duchess of Cornwall have finally got a few hours to themselves before they have to get back on that barge that we saw this morning. Now, that barge is the Royal Australian Navy's Admiral's barge, and that made its way over to Garden Island this morning for them. Tonight, it's going to be taking them to the Sydney Opera House for a Diamond Jubilee reception. So plenty more on the schedule for the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall here in Sydney. Tomorrow, it's going to be all about Canberra, and we're going to see them out and about in the ACT, and we're also going to be seeing them at the Australian War Memorial